Alright guys, before we start today's video, I've got something absolutely enormous to tell you guys about. Friday, we just now told you guys about the huge track event that we're going to be hosting in Dallas at Extreme Raceway Park, which is going to be a ton of fun. Make sure you guys go check it out. You can go check out my Instagram page at It's Just a Six to go check out the details on that. But today, the announcement is a little bit bigger than that. As you guys remember, we just gave away our first car. It was the Miata. We gave it away to a guy named Matt that lived up in Indiana. He flew down here for a weekend. We gave him the car. We took him to have at the time of his life. If you guys missed that video, seriously, you're going to want to check it out. Click up above right now. There's a card up there. You can go click and go check out the video. It seriously was hilarious. We had the most fun with those two guys. Yeah, super fun weekend. And today is the announcement of giveaway number 2. So, just like the last one, this giveaway is going to last for about 5 weeks now. Our second giveaway actually starts today. As you guys are watching this, the entries are live. Get entered by going to www.itsjustasix.com/shop, and every $20 that you spend is actually going to give you one entry towards winning this giveaway car. Basically having the chance to not only win a car, but come down here and hang out with us for the weekend. Let us take you to have the time of your life. It's gonna be this one's gonna be interesting. In case this is your first time on the channel, or for those that are already expecting this, please allow me to introduce you guys to our second giveaway car, Le Mans, the Corvette. Probably really excited about it. I don't know if you're as excited as I am, but like I said, a little bit over a month from now, we're going to be picking a winner. You're going to be flying down here to pick up this car. It's going to be awesome. Cannot wait. If you guys have not already, go to the website, check it out. We've got a ton of new products. We've got now stickers, key tags, license plate covers, shirts. We're going to have hats and air fresheners coming soon.
New stuff is going to be coming soon throughout the giveaway.
Just like with the last one, you guys got to remember that we do have about 40 to 50,000 new subscribers coming every single month, which breaks it down to over 1,000 new people a day on this channel. So I do have to repeat myself quite a few times throughout these giveaways to kind of let everybody get their fair chance to be able to have their entries to win the car. So, but now that that is out of the way and you guys have already gone over to the website and checked everything out, let's move on with today's video where we assemble, finally, the engine for the Mustang and get everything ready to go. Within a week from now, hopefully the engine will be in the car and we'll be having it running. So make sure you guys stay tuned, turn notifications on. Anyways, let's jump into the video. Today is going to be the second, I believe, to last video before we actually leave to go to LA. So we're leaving in 2 days from right now. We've got 48 hours to get quite a bit of stuff done. Super excited about it though, because today in this video, we are going to be completely finishing the assembly of the Billet engine. Maybe some of this video, but with next video, we're gonna be trying to get it in the car, which means that we're gonna have to drop this K-member, the tubular K-member, down out of the car, install the new engine, the motor mounts, drop the motor on there, pair up the clutch to the motor, pair the transmission after that. Super excited about that. And then after that, we'll be able to basically lift the K-member back up into the car and then finish wiring everything up. Hook up the fuel lines, hook up the ECM, hook up all that good stuff. But before we do that, obviously we've got to finish assembling the engine. So that's pretty much all that we've got left to do today. On this motor, we've got to put on the rear main seal, the rear cover, not the reluctor wheel, but I can't ever remember what it's called on Coyotes. What do you call it? The little... Dude, I always forget the name of it. It's a reluctor wheel, basically. It's just, they call it something else on here. We gotta put the valve covers on. Then we gotta put the timing cover on the front, the oil pan on the bottom. And that's pretty much it. Yesterday, Doug spent like 4 hours getting these cams degreed. So we actually did 112 degrees on the intake and 118 degrees on the exhaust cams. Those are degreed to what MMR specs out these cams and what they pretty much need to be at. We may have to come break it back open and do it again in the future if it's not enough. But it should be good to start
start out with. So the goal is to be able to get the engine ready to go so that whenever we get back from Los Angeles, all I'll have to do is get a base tune sent over from VMP. We'll get it flashed onto the car and hopefully be able to start the car up for the first time, which is going to be insane. While I'm gone for the week, I'm sure Doug will probably, he's going to be working on his car a lot, but I really don't want to rush anything, so I'll let him basically go over everything just to make sure that we did not forget anything at all. It's going to be really crucial to make sure that we did not miss anything whatsoever. Anyways though, without further ado, let's go ahead and get started assembling this engine. Well, let's finish it up at least. Before we can finish putting on the valve covers and timing covers and everything though, Doug's actually over there working on clearancing them because this new cam setup and the timing chain setup is actually too big and it needs to be clearanced. We actually had to clearance the head in a few locations just to be able to clear it all because of these giant dual roller timing chains. It's insane. But in this box right here, we've actually got, which is basically, it's a head cooling mod. So we're gonna be putting this right here and right here and then running this coolant hose between the two. And basically what that does is that for some reason these Coyote engines, they have a lot of problems with cylinder number 8 having coolant issues, and the cylinder number 8 actually overheats because the water jackets don't flow well enough, and you'll lose, damn it Doug, and you'll easily lose cylinder number 8. So while you have the motor out and everything, it's always a good idea just to go ahead and get MMR's little kit here. I'm so sorry if you can't hear me. This kit basically gets all the coolant flow to cylinder number 8 that you need and prevents that issue from coming and you know, screwing your whole day up. So I'm gonna go ahead and pull this pin out and we're gonna spin the entire, oh my God, this thing is getting heavy. Holy crap. That is super nerve-wracking, but we've got the engine tilted upside down now. So I can go ahead and get started on installing the oil pan, which is right there. This is MMR's really nice high capacity oil pan. Whole entire thing is all TIG welded, seriously strong. Hopefully this never comes in contact with the ground, but if it does, it'd be really cool because that means wheelies. We need to check clearance inside of here. This seems a little shallow and this pickup tube seems like it's sticking up a lot. So I want to see if it's actually going to clear. That's right. This oil pan actually holds, instead of the stock 8.5 quarts, I believe this one holds 10.5 quarts. And as you guys know, we've got the high volume oil pump, and we've also got a high volume oil pickup tube. So we're going to be moving a lot of oil. So I figured it'd probably be in my best interest to go with a high volume oil or high capacity oil pan, because if we suck all the oil out of the pan and then we lose oil pressure for even just a few seconds, that'd be real bad. So this one should ensure that we do not run out of oil at all. I'm definitely noticing that this pan is for a turbo setup. They've got the return line right here and we've got the feed line right here. Okay, so now that we've got the oil pan installed on the bottom, we just got it basically sitting there for test fitting purposes and everything. We still got to put the rear cover on. Doug is actually working on the timing cover right now, so I can flip this thing back over. That baby is heavy. Oh my gosh. Rotate. These right here are VCT sensors. We actually do not have VCT anymore. As you guys know, we eliminated it with lockouts, so we can pull that out. Dang, this is the moment of truth. In just a second, we're gonna be taking our timing cover, covering up all this goodness up front. It's really sad. Love Turbo Doug. We got this freeze plug out of this head over here. Doug's working on the one over there. We've got our plugs, well, not our plugs, our little fittings in the freezer right now, so that way they can contract just a little bit, coat it with RTV, and jam it in there. That way we got an airtight fit. No, it's in there way tighter than that. You're gonna bend the shit out. Oh shit. So we've got, I believe, 2 new bolts in here. Okay, so there we go, guys. We've got our billet head cooling mod installed back here. Like I said, this is basically connecting, instead of the freeze plugs that are right here, and basically what freeze plugs are, if you imagine, coolant is mixed with water, right? Most of the time, if you have a 50-50 pre-diluted mix, you will not have any issues with it freezing. That's the reason why coolant contains, what is it called, ethylene glycol. But in the old days, people used to just use water. But the problem with water, whenever it freezes, as you guys know, it expands. So whenever water is flowing through your heads or your block or anything like that in the winter months, it would freeze, and whenever it expanded, it would actually start to crack blocks, crack heads, things of that sort, especially being that these are aluminum. They definitely have a lot of problems with that. So they have these various freeze plugs, and basically the freeze plugs, whenever it freezes, instead of it expanding and cracking the head, it blows out those freeze plugs, and instead of having to replace an entire head, you just pop in a new freeze plug. Real nice and simple. Being that this is is a race application instead of just your daily driver. And being that I don't, well, actually, yeah, we are going to be using distilled water, so it's not going to be outside in 20 degree, 30 degree weather anymore. So we have these little fittings right here, which basically connects instead of the freeze plug. It allows for coolant to flow through the entire head over into the other head and flow the complete way through, instead of doing like normal, where it just is supposed to flow from the front and somehow get to all of the cylinders. And they have a lot of issues with cylinder number 8 back here, overheating and popping. So this is like the go-to fix for how to fix that. So, and now before we put the timing cover on and make it completely official, I'm gonna go ahead and sign right here, just in case somebody in the future happens to get this. Oh, we gotta sign Trace on here too. Trace is here too. What's up? This is so sad. It's all coming to a close, which is actually a good thing, but
no, we do want a little bit of RTV. See these little spots right there? Yeah. Little dab, dab-a-doo.
Dab-a-doo, dab-a-doo, and dab-a-doo. I'll also stick some down here at the bottom.
oh, I remember what it's called now. It's called the pulse ring, not the reluctor wheel. All right, guys, so we've got the timing cover in place now. We're not even gonna clean it up. Like Doug said, we're gonna make it look like it's just a stock motor in here. After we put the valve covers on, this thing is gonna look no different from a stock engine. Completely stock engine. Absolutely no different at all, actually. So head cooling rod, check. Oil pan, check. Timing cover, check. Cams all torqued down. We did the timing set, torqued down. All the sensors are still in place because we reuse the same heads. Trying to do a mental checklist right quick and make sure we got everything, which I believe we do. Okay. In the arms of the angel, fly away from here. This is so sad. Now that we got the valve cover down in place, I'm just going to tighten it up, get all the bolts started by hand, and then tighten them up after that. Alright, so now we've got our water pump housing cleaned up. Obviously the car only has, I think, 22,000 miles on it, so it's not like it would be worn out that bad. All right guys, so we have the valve covers on, we've got the front timing cover on, we've got our water pump on, all that good stuff. And then you notice that we just now got done taping up all of the holes in the engine, and that is because we're actually about to have to grind this block up a good bit. So if you notice right here, there's this little tab, and we actually went ahead and marked where is going to need to be cut out right there. If you see, basically taking a big chunk out of that because we have to clear the intercooler that drops down on top right here. This is the block that came out of the Mustang, and you notice that this one has already been cut right there, so we're good there. This is a brand new block. It's actually never been used before, so it's never been cut because it's never been in a supercharged car. So anyways, we're gonna cut that tab right there. So we're blocking everything off right now to keep the dust, because it's about to make a huge mess whenever we start cutting aluminum, and we don't want it to get all inside of the engine. So after we cut that tab off though, we'll be able to slide our intercooler on top, then we'll be able to finish assembling everything on the front of the engine, and we'll be really close to being done. That's crazy. We're getting real close. All right guys, so Doug cut out this little block right here. We got that moved out of the way in clearance. So now we're gonna grab the intercooler here and we're gonna set it on top just to make sure that it fits. And if it does fit, then we'll remove the tape and go ahead and install everything. I'm dragging a catch can. Yep. Oh yeah, that's plenty. Intercooler is sitting down in place really nicely, so we can go ahead and pull this thing back off now. All right, so let's go ahead and pull this tape back and get it out of the way. Oh, important. Oh, dude. Why is there oil all in this?
Oil catch can. I mean, I couldn't imagine it.
I bet you it's from where the bypass, whenever the ringlands blew. Remember whenever it blew oil everywhere? Bet you that thing is full of oil. Well, yeah, it is actually.
Well, not anymore.
Deductive reasoning says that it is. 1 hour later, we just got the intercooler really cleaned up and cleaned out mainly. Let me move this thing. Can't believe it peed all over me.
Sometimes that's how they let you know they care. Okay,
so now we need to plug up the wiring harness under there before we do this. So let me grab the ECM harness, or the engine harness, whatever you want to call it. Look at this disaster of a freaking harness, dude. Holy crap. This is the part that I was really just not looking forward to. I'll be real with you. Doug. Hep. I don't know what to do with all these. That's oxygen sensor.
Let's set it on the ground then.
This is the oxygen sensor. I mean the NOx sensors. Pull this sub harness off, plug these up under here. Now we can set the intercooler back on, now that we've got our NOx sensors hooked up and connected. These bolts are for the fuel rails. And now we got the intercooler bolts over here. Let me go grab those. So the intercooler bolts are here. Okay, so the intercooler is down. Let me grab our injectors over here and fuel rails.
Always make sure whenever you're putting your injectors in that you use some kind of grease or lube. If you don't, your O-rings will not seal properly and then they'll leak because the O-rings won't go down in the right place. Take my word from it, I'm speaking from experience. And now we can grab our fuel rails. Well, there we have it. We've got our fuel rails and injectors back installed. Okay, so luckily I took pictures of everything before we took it all apart. And so I know how everything goes. Okay, so this harness, this goes like this. Just goes like that. Okay, now normally these are our VCT hookups. We do not have those anymore because we did the lockouts. So all this is to hook up to the PCM, which is in the car. We'll do that later. Now this ground wire goes to this bolt, which I'll have to get in a minute, so we're not going to worry about that right now. Each one of these go to the coil packs, but our coil packs are not hooked up yet. So let me rotate this around. Each one of these are for the injectors, so we can go ahead and hook up the injectors. This right here, I don't remember what this is, but I'll look at it in a second. Coil pack wire, injector wire, coil pack, and so big old fat main harness. This goes to the back of the motor, I know. These go back to the O2 sensors here.
This should plug in to this one right
here. Yeah, that camshaft sensor. So zip tie all that out the way. Now what are this all for? Oh wait, hang on. This is throttle body. Yeah. This is all throttle body. Okay. Okay, now this all goes down from here to the bottom of the motor. Zip ties into there. This is normally the VCT plug right here. Then we follow this down the block here. And this little stud is where this wire harness slips onto. I'm so happy that I remember all this.
Kind of only goes one way, so.
All right, well, fuck you. I was proud of myself.
I didn't mean that in the demeaning
No, it's okay. This is the alternator. This plugs up to the oil pan for our oil level indicator. This is the other O2 sensor. Let me see. So this is, okay, yeah, throttle body stuff. This harness goes under all this crap. All right, guys, we got everything ready to go. The blower is the last thing that we need to install, so I'm gonna clean up this gasket surface real quick. There's a little bit of oil residue left in here from whenever we had our little happy accident. Okay, that looks good. You see that thing? I want to set that thing on there.
Got it?
Yep. Oh yeah. Grab that side.
Oh, now you want my help.
You got it?
Yeah, I got this side.
Yo! Okay, I don't know why this is the most exciting part for me, but give me a high five. We feel accomplished. Oh yeah, this is for the intake also, so this needs to get routed over here. 2 throttle body, one of the intakes. Okay guys, we're tightening down the blower now. Look at that. The timing cover is so dirty. Stock motor, bro. Swear.
Stock junkyard motor, man.
It really does look like it. Like you would never, if you look at this, you would absolutely, well, except for the oil pan, and you can also see the ARP. The ARP mains back here on the side.
They don't know what that is.
Yeah, they don't know what that is. Stock motor gang.
It's out of an F-150, bro.
Yeah, we almost got a whole engine together.
Engine is together. Supercharger now.
We almost got the entire power plant together. How about that? Now, I don't remember what this is for. Actually, yeah, dude, this wasn't even hooked up. I don't remember, but it's not hooked up into that. All right, I'm gonna slide our catch can back on, unwrap our PCV valve over here. All right, guys, there we have it. We've got the blower put onto the engine. The entire thing is basically assembled at this point. There's nothing really else that we're waiting on. Once it's in the car, we'll be able to finish up. Well, actually, we can probably do that here, but we don't have to right now. We just need to really finish up assembling all of the front timing cover, the belts, the water pump, all that good stuff. And then I got to get some block offs for these where the old VCT sensors used to be. So I'm gonna have to order those, get those block offs in. But we are pretty much there. We're honestly, I'd say, done with the engine build. This is it.
Isn't that kind of anticlimactic almost?
Yeah, I know, it really is.
It's a little weird. It's like you look at it, it's just there.
Yeah, I know. It looks like what we started with when we pulled it apart. Craziest part about this though is that this engine is legitimately a $20,000 engine at this point, and if you look at it, it looks no different from the stock one that we pulled apart. You're looking at a lot of money right here. Jesus Christ, that makes me sick to my stomach. I've spent a lot of money on this car. Hopefully it pays off. I really just can't believe we got it all together though. We've got all the wires hooked up. Legitimately, this is for the O2 sensor. This one's for the throttle body. These are for the intake manifold, or not the intake manifold, the intake whenever we get those put on there, and the map sensor and all that. These two we actually don't use anymore because we don't have our PCV or VCT. These are just to hook up to the PCM. So literally we're done. Everything is assembled. We just got to assemble the water pump some more, put our new water pump pulley, put the tensioner, all that good stuff back on the front, and then drop it into the car and we're good to go. That is wild. Jesus.
Yep, just like that.
All right, guys, that is probably going to be a wrap for today's video. We got the engine completely assembled, the supercharger and everything installed back onto it. All that we've got left to do now is put the clutch onto the motor after we would do the rear cover and the rear main seal and everything. Stab the transmission, drop it all down onto the K-member, and then once we get it on the K-member, we're literally just going to lower the car down onto it, hook everything up.
Sorry guys, Doug has decided that he was going to be 13 for the entirety of today's day. So it's anyways though, after that we'll be able to drop the car down onto the K-member, hook everything back up. We should be able to give it its first start up within the next few videos. Hopefully I can get it, I don't know, hopefully we can get it all put back together before I leave. I doubt it, but maybe. All right guys, anyways, thank you so much for watching. If you have not already, make sure you drop a like on this video, hit that subscribe button, turn notifications on to be notified of any future videos. The next few videos are not going to be anything you want to miss. We're going to be finally getting this car back running again after way too long. I hate being without this car. I hate whenever it gets down, but what do you want to do tonight? It's Saturday night. So we're going to get out of here. We're going to go home, take some showers and stuff. It's already in the afternoon, and I'll talk to you guys in the next video. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.
Yeah, I'm the greatest. See my competition, they just don't fit that niche. You could try to take a shot at me, I would not flinch. I try to jack at my sound and then I flip that script like I ain't doing no favors. See me walking around with all that moolah, baby girl talking to me, telling me that I was